What's up, team? Good to see you as always. So, sorry for my unkept look. I've literally just drove back from the gym and this idea came in purely via the radio, so thank you, radio. They're talking about a new buzzword called Bigorexia or muscle dysmorphia, body dysmorphia. You may have heard those expressions before. And I was like, you know what, I just want to actually touch upon this subject because it is really quite interesting. So with dysmorphia, you know, we're talking about the basics. We've made some changes. We're going to the gym. You've got those 1 or 2 bits part of your body that you just can't see for what they are. You absolutely hate them. You get obsessive about it. You get depressed about it. You get upset. And you're constantly trying to do something. But quite simply, what you're seeing in the mirror isn't what is there. So being part of the industry, and it takes a lot of, quite honestly, it takes a lot of balls to admit this, but we all have to be held accountable. We all have to take some form of responsibility for the chronic issues that people have got right nowadays with their body image. Because if we're putting out topless videos and we're saying that we don't like our body and we want to change this and we want to change that, which we've all said it before, and there's magazines out there putting in the top 1% of the whole world of the fitness industry on their covers, who, you know, as guys now, it's a minimum standard to have a six-pack, a really cut bowl-shaped chest and 18-inch biceps to be classed as in shape. And quite honestly, that's disgusting, because I look at some guys, it sounds really bad, but I look at some guys in the gym and they just lift, they look half decent in a t-shirt, and you know what, even if they don't, they just go to the gym and they're happy, they've got their family at home, they've got their stresses, they're running businesses. I respect the guy who's got a family, who's got a business, who's got so many stresses externally going on in his life, and he still comes in and he does 30 minutes in the gym. He might not look like the next Arnie or Callum Von Moger, but at the end of the day, he looks like a bloody legend to me because he's coming in and he's doing something. And the same with females. It's definitely picked up a lot in the last few years. You know, I'm so glad that it's kind of gone from that obsession that collarbone is key and seeing your spine is key for women, because that was quite honestly one of the most disgusting trends I've ever had to deal with or witness in the industry. And nowadays it's all about fit is fit and strong is strong and lean and all the rest of it. And it's great. You know, but if women still just don't want to lift weights, but they want to go to the gym and they want to run and they want to be healthy and they want to make a few changes, it doesn't mean that they're absolutely crap just because they don't look like the person on the magazine. And I think it's so important to stop purveying a message that is so unhealthy to people, because some of the women that I train, they're in their mid-30s, they've got a family, they've got children, they've got a job that they have to deal with all the time. They've got all these things going on around them and they are worrying about getting into the gym 4 or 5 times a week, meal prepping every single day. You know what? There's massive more things important in the world than worrying about your image. You are one person, male or female, young, old, whatever. You are beautiful. Fact. You may want to change things about yourself, and that is absolutely fine. But you need to start by getting up every single day, looking in the mirror and going, you know what, I'm a beautiful person. I'm alive. Be grateful you woke up today. You're in a great place. Go and make some changes, but don't obsess about it, because what is the point? At the end of the day, if you walked up to me and you had 18-inch biceps, I'm going to turn around and go, great, nice arms, you know, what else? You know, is there anything, what does it give you? Man points? Some girls might actually go, oh, you're attractive, but once that whole image of you've got great arms fades, there's got to be a conversation behind that. So what does it really give you long term? And the same with females. You know, I look at my partner and I think she's the most beautiful person on this planet. But I don't look at her purely on an aesthetic level and say she's beautiful. Yeah, she's damn hot. But it's the conversations, it's the laughs, it's the times, it's the memories that we have. I don't turn around and look back and go, tell you what, that holiday we went on was absolutely amazing because you looked great in your bikini. She did, but I don't care. It's about the times we had together, and it's all about connecting on an emotional level and understanding yourself on an emotional level rather than this aesthetic, depressing way of living all the time. So let's look a little bit at bigorexia, which is a very new buzzword, and I understood it as soon as I saw there was a news video, a documentary that went up, which is really quite interesting, following a bodybuilder. And I looked at him and I was like, you know what, he looks bloody massive. He's in great shape. And he stood there and he was obsessively critiquing himself and going, nobody's going to like this. I don't like it. So who else is going to like it? And it's a progression essentially of dysmorphia. And I get it, because in the industry now, especially from a guy's perspective, there is an idea that you're not classed as a man unless you're big. You have to be big, otherwise you're just essentially a woman in male's clothing, which is one of the most sexist things and most outdated, ridiculous caveman things to say, and I think it's ridiculous. And quite honestly, a majority of the guys who deal with this bigorexia image side of things, A lot of them, from what I've seen, either go to an all-male gym or a bodybuilding gym, so that all they're surrounded by is huge people, which is always the first route one of causing issues for yourself straight away. And secondly, they were either a little bit overweight at school or underweight specifically, and they got bullied for it. So they turned around and went, you know what, the only thing I can do to get away from that is get big. And a lot of people look at the size of themselves and go, you know what, I want to get big purely because it means that those people aren't going to give me any crap anymore. But at the end of the day, it doesn't actually change anything. You've still got those insecurities. The majority of the people I'm aiming this at, you look incredible, but you will not give yourself credit for that because you're looking around the gym obsessing about what everyone else is doing. Who cares? Who really cares? You are the only person training yourself. So set your goals for you. I don't care who's got bigger arms or smaller arms than me. I really couldn't give a flying. You know, at the end of the day, we should all be going to the gym or not going to the gym because we choose to. We should be meal prepping or not meal prepping or going for a walk or whatever it may well be because we choose to. Who cares what anyone else thinks? And it's ridiculous that I have to keep going over this. It really stresses me out because I hate seeing people go through it. And it's disgusting. And I feel so sorry for you that you are trapped in your own head. But you know, we even get it now. We'll do a video on bodybuilding and how to get big muscles and someone will turn around and go, you can't give me any advice on muscle building because you don't even lift. I don't want to be big. I don't care about huge muscles. I love my body how it is. Yes, I want to change things about it. Who bloody doesn't? But you know what? I get up every morning and go, yeah, I feel bloody awesome. And when you can get to that point, you can make that comment. You know, it's not just because we're in the industry and we talk about muscles and building muscle and weightlifting. You don't have to look a certain way to be able to give advice, just the same as you don't have to look a certain way to be respected. Just respect yourself, respect your own image, and people will relate to you so much more. So before I start ranting way too much, I do feel sorry for anyone who is dealing with dysmorphia, bigorexia, whatever it may well be, because the thing is as well, especially in the bigorexia side of things, there are younger and younger and younger people walking into the gym and going on to steroids. And personally, I'm not even going to pretend that I have a huge problem with steroids because you can't be in this industry nowadays and have a problem with steroids. It's tough. They are there. They are going to be there to stay and they are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more people are going to take steroids. That is fact. I don't care who doesn't agree with that. That is my opinion from watching the industry. And you know what? If people take steroids, that's their own problem. That's entirely up to them. I could not care less. The only thing I say to people is educate yourself. Educate yourself via your body. Make mistakes, do stuff, but don't make the first mistake of going and taking steroids and then going, oh, shit, shouldn't have done that. That should always be the last thing you're ever even thinking about. When you're getting in the gym, you need to learn what your body does, how it reacts to training, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. If you're going to take steroids, don't walk in the gym and go 3 months later, right, I need some gear because I'm not getting the results. Some of the people that I know who take steroids and take them essentially responsibly, if I could call it that, they were training for 10, 15 years before they even thought about it. And there's people in there now going, I need to get big, I need to get big, I need to get big. Ask yourself one question, why? What difference is it going to make to your life? If your whole life is about being Mr. Olympia and you want to be huge, then hats off to you. You're going to have to work your backside off and you will need to get big. But if all you want to do is look half decent in a t-shirt, in a vest, go on the beach and feel good about yourself, you need to work up here 10 times more than you're working there in the gym. Trust me. How can we help? Little tips and tricks that I get people to do nowadays, which really does help as long as you don't obsess, is measurements. Measurements are one of those things when you are tracking your progress, they will change. Fact. If they don't change, yeah, you can turn around and go, I didn't work hard enough. I need to do something else. If you measure from the same point and you make references all the time from the same point every single time, redo your measurements every 6 to 12 weeks or after every protocol. Those measurements will change if you've done the right training. You can take photos, progress shots. Sometimes that isn't always the best way because the way you may well look at a photo now may be completely different in 6 weeks' time. But if you put 2 photos married from 1 week to 12 weeks next to each other, you will see undescribable changes. You can't argue it. You will see 2 different photos. If you don't, you probably haven't done the right thing for you. Don't worry. Doesn't mean you have to go and take steroids. Doesn't mean you have to stop eating. It just means you need to change the protocol. And final point that is so important to remember is constantly ask yourself why. Why are you going to the gym? Why have you set those goals? And more importantly, are they for you? Are they what you want to get out of your training? Or are they what someone else is telling you subliminally in a magazine or in a video or in some sort of article that you should look like this, you need to look like that? Just remember, if you have that incessant feeling of need or want, it's not normally going to be coming from you. It's going to be an external source that's pushing that upon you. Make the changes for yourself. Don't make them for someone else. Don't make them for a social group. Don't make them for a loved one. Don't make them for a partner. Because quite honestly, looks fade. Looks fade. Watch this channel over the last 3 years. Looks fade. At the end of the day, what's up here and what's in here is so more important. And you're all absolutely beautiful people, male and female, big or small, whatever. We're all unique. Embrace it. Make changes, but be you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I love you all, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.